All right. Today we're going to be talking about primitives, and let's get started. This is our lesson objectives. We are first going to review string and int and scanner from last class with the activity that we barely finished. And we're going to learn new primitives, character, double, and boolean. We'll get to that. How to declare variables, how to name variables, and then we'll actually go on our IDE Replit and do some stuff. So first thing, review. If you guys still remember from the day before yesterday, string is a type of variable that consists of anything that can be printed out as long as in the brackets. For example, it can print out a word, a phrase, a letter, number, any special characters as listed in the parentheses. Next, we have int. Int is an integer number, okay? Does not include decimals. Anything that is in the does not include decimals is counted as int. Scanner, I think a couple of people were confused about this last time, is something that can be used to scan your input so you can interact with the program. And also, last time I named my scanner scan, so you can see scanner scan equals new scanner system.in. So that's why string name is scan.nextLine. If I name my scanner something else, the int is actually not 1.14. That's decimal, and int can only be integers. We'll get to decimals in the next slide, I think. But back to what I was saying. If the scanner is named the console, it would be console.nextLine. So the scanner's name can change. It doesn't have to be anything that's set. You can name your scanners anything you want, but what doesn't change is the fact that there's a scanner in front of it and what's behind it. What's behind it, or in this part. See, new scanner.system.in. Someone put that in the chat. That's very good. You are right. That doesn't change. Next is primitives. So primitives are a type of variable in Java, and they consist of 8 different types, but for the purpose of this class, we will only be using 4, which are int, double, character, and boolean. We already gone over int, so let's move on to double, character, and boolean. First off, double are decimal numbers. 13.5, 18.6, 3.1415, that's double. Yes, William, that does work, although it would be very complicated to type out every single time. And then, so for example, it is double cost can equal 13.29. And character is a single character. So like R, D, S, capitalized, lowercase, doesn't really matter as long as it is a single character. Boolean is true or false. Boolean, for example, I made a typo. That was supposed to mean she is tall. Yeah, no, she is tall. That's a capitalized I. My bad. I thought that was an L. So Boolean she is tall is false. She here meaning me, I am not tall. But if we say Boolean he is tall, we can set that to true. I mean, yes, it can be, although I've never seen that before. No, I think Java only accepts letters, numbers, not special characters. I think only special character it accepts is $sign and underscore. Gabe, can you verify that? I think the only special character that can be that are accepted as characters are underscore and $sign.
So I've looked it up, and a character can be any 16-bit Unicode character. So technically, as long as it's like you could even have a I'm pretty sure there are smiley faces that are Unicode characters. So you could even have a smiley face as a char.
Smiley faces as uni characters? I've never heard of that before. That's interesting.
I'll try and find one and put it in the chat.
Yeah. If you could find a list of all the characters, special characters that are considered characters in Java, that would be great. Honestly, you guys have so many questions that I'm not prepared for, and it's great. All right, so now is how to declare variables. So here are some rules when declaring variables. A variable needs to be declared. Okay, if it's not declared, the computer doesn't know what you're talking about and it gets confused. A variable only needs to be declared once. If you declare, so let's say I have right here int age. If I have int age, I declared it once, but if I have int age equals 21, on the next line, the computer gets confused. Like, you already declared it. You already told me that age is an integer, is a int type variable. You told me once, and I know this. Why are you telling me again? And the computer gets confused. So a variable only needs to be declared once. And a variable needs to have a name. So here is the data type, what type it is. Is it an int? Is it a string? Is it a character? Is it a boolean, etc.? And then here is the variable name. Okay, we need to name this something. For example, you name your pets, right? If you have two cats, they have different names, so you don't get them confused. Okay, yeah, that will work as a character. And then if there are no values set for the variable is considered null. Null is a pretty complicated subject, but you can think of it as the character. You can think of it as like you want a pet. If let's say you want a pet cat and you want to name the cat Luna, you want a cat. You have the name, but you don't have the cat itself. Okay, so that's kind of like if you have int age and then you just put a semicolon. You didn't put any value in, right? If you don't have any value, it's kind of like you have a cat. You have the cat name and you want a cat, but you don't have the actual cat. Is that confusing? Does anybody have questions about null? Does anybody have any questions about primitives and string and scanner in general? Okay, I'm assuming that's no questions, so we are moving on to the next. Next is how to name things in Java. So naming things in Java is really important because as you get more advanced, you will be doing a lot more stuff with a lot more things. So if naming things will get confused, it helps you keep things in track so you don't get things confused. And there are some rules to name things. So the rules for number one, classes. Classes, if you remember, are the main things, the main box in Replit. I'll talk about that again once we get to the demo part. And it must begin with a capital letter. If there's more than one word, then each word also begins with a capital letter. This is called camel case. I don't know if anybody heard of it. Camel case. Is that how you spell camel? Yeah, I think that's how you spell camel. There's no space, but again, dollar signs and underscores are allowed, but it's not recommended. I don't think I've seen a class name that includes like dollar signs or underscores. I have seen class names that include numbers, but it's very, very rare. So usually we just do like words. Okay. Next is objects and variables. So objects/variables are the things we talk about here. No. Like these, like int, double character, that's objects and variables. And it will start with a lowercase. If there's more than one word, then subsequent word starts with a capital letter. So no space again, and you can use numbers, dollar signs, underscore, but then again, dollar sign, underscore are not recommended. I use numbers after my variable names pretty often because if you have like 20 different ints, you are gonna have to name them differently, right? And numbers help keep track of this is version 1, this is version 2. So using numbers with variable names are a lot more common than using numbers with class names. Yeah, it's kind of like a standard practice when we name stuff, because it's kind of like technically when you write an equation like 3 plus 7 equals 10, you don't write 10 equals 3 plus 7. You put the answer like the 10 on the right. It works either way. Both ways are correct, but it's just a standard practice that we usually do. Like people see that and say, "Oh, this is a person that's organized." And if you don't use camel case, people might be prejudiced against you. Here is a string, my name. See, this is a string is a variable. So my name, the N in my is lowercase, the N in name is capitalized, and age, A is under lowercase because it is the first word. Okay. If I have like age 1, age 2, like age would still be on lowercase, but then there would just be a number 1 or a number 2 after it. So anything that comes after the first word doesn't really affect how if the first word is going to be capitalized or lowercase. And also we don't start with numbers when we name stuff. It's always the word and then the number. I think that's also part of like just having good practice. Also Java is case sensitive. So what that means is that Java will perceive lowercase things and uppercase things differently. For example, if you have strings, the first letter in string, the S is capitalized. If you type string with a lowercase s, then Java will take a look at it and be really confused and be like, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about." I think I made a mistake last class. I don't know if you guys remember, where I lowercase the S in scanner, and then Java reported an error, and then I fixed it, and then Java ran like normal. And that's because Java is case sensitive. So this is just something you have to memorize. String and scanner are uppercase, int double character boolean, and a lot of other stuff are lowercase. And it's just something you have to memorize. If you guys want, I can put a snippet of this in the chat, but I don't know. I think this is not that much to memorize. We can stay on this slide for a few extra seconds for you guys to memorize it. Okay. Okay, I think that's the last slide. And now we are going to go to Replit. Do you guys know how to get to Replit, or do I need to demonstrate that again? Do I need to demonstrate how to create a new project? Okay, remember you are choosing the language is Java. Lesson 2 activity. Don't mind this, and then ignore import. Just click create. Same thing here. This is the file where everything is kept, and this is the class I was talking about. Do you guys still remember this? Oh yeah, right. Here are some links. Let me put the links in the chat. That's naming conventions. These are optional articles that I've just put in the chat, where you can take a look at how to name things in Java. I mean, it's just something interesting, and it's like a little bit extra to help you guys if you struggle with that, because I struggle with that. All right. Remember, this is class, and this is what we had here. Began with the capital letter, right? And there's only one word, so, nothing else is capitalized. And then this is the dot. Remember, this is the run, and then this is where your code shows up. And now I am going to repeat what we did last class as a review. First, type after me, import java.util.scanner. Remember, scanner, the S in scanner is uppercase. Now we are going to string Boolean. You guys can name it whatever you want. I just named it the first thing that popped into my head. So let's take a look at this. What? Do I have to capitalize Java? No. String. That is the data type. Okay, that is what this thing is. And then this is the name. Name is what this string will be called. There's int. This is the data type, and then this is the name of what this is. Double. Double, remember, is decimals. This is the data type, the type of what it is. Character, the type of what it is. And then Boolean, the type of what it is. Okay. And now since I did not initialize this, all of these are null, and we can initialize them later. You don't have to always initialize them right here, like right now. So let's say if you have something right here, and then we do scan equals new scanner system.in, and then we do name equals scan.next line. So that matches up with what I said earlier about you only need to declare variables once. Remember, by declaring variables once, I declared it here once, and now I don't need to type string in front of it anymore. Okay. If I do this and I run it, it will give me an error. And then now I will show you something that might be a little bit confusing. It's actually how to turn doubles into ints. So you know how you guys round things in math? Like 13.6 rounds to 14, 13.1 rounds to 13. So it's similar, a little bit similar to that in Java, but in Java you don't round up. No, that's not. Yeah, you don't round up, everything gets cut. So for example, if I have a double that equals 13.27 and age equals now this is commenting everything out, so this won't be looked at by the code. Do you guys remember? Okay. Yes, William, that is true. For anybody who don't know Chinese, that means rounding. So if I run this, and let's hope I have good internet today, so this won't take forever. This should give me, oh. Now, what is, oops, I forgot to, oh, wait, no. I am dumb today. So I accidentally commented out that was what was supposed to be declared. See, I don't think I have mistakes this time. Oh, that's weird.
Excuse me, you forgot the semicolon on line 16.
That's a really good point. Who was that?
Me.
William?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I forget the semicolon all the time. Oh my god. Thank you so much. See, that now that works. So even though 13 yeah, it rounds down. If I do 13.69, that it should round up, right? Except Java doesn't round up, it always rounds down. Even if I do 13.99, it will round down. See, it always rounds down. So that's how you turn a double into an int. Now, of course, int can have all sorts of different things like like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So addition is just 5 plus 6. That would give us 11. And if we run this should give us 11. Okay, see, that gives us 11. 5 times 6, 5 times, this is the multiplication sign. That should give us 30. And then same for minus sign. If 5 minus 6, that should give us -1. Do you guys know negative numbers? Okay, let me, some of you might not be old enough to learn about negative numbers yet, so let me just do 6 minus 5. That will give us 1. And also, yes, int does encompass negative numbers as well. So that gives us 1. And let's do 10 divided by 5. That is the division sign. That should give us 2. Now I have a question for you guys. This will be somewhat of a difficult question. 10 plus 5 times 2. What do you think this will give us? If I click run, what will the computer print out? Okay, William says 20. Does anybody else? William, please stop spamming the chat. Let somebody else put in their answers. Who thinks it will be 30? Does anybody think it will be 30? Okay. PEMDAS, yes, that's true. Let's see if the computer knows PEMDAS as well. See, it is 20. That is right. So the computer also knows PEMDAS. And now if we put parentheses in, you guys should know what this is. 30, yes, exactly. So the computer knows basic mathematic equations that we all know. Now let me try something else. So I showed you I've showed you how we turn doubles into ints. Now I'm going to show you how to turn ints into doubles. So that is actually quite simple, how we turn ints into doubles. Does anybody think they know what's going to be printed out? Oh. I forgot to comment things out again. See, if we have an int, it just adds a 0 behind it. So if I have like 11 here, or 13, 14, or like 20, it will always be 20.0. Now, if there's another challenging question. Does anybody think they know what this question will be? If I hit run, put your answers in the chat. Okay, we have William saying it's 24. Okay, I love tigers. I have no idea who you are, but this person is saying it's 24.5, 24. Okay, let's run it and see what it gives us. $24.0. So technically everyone was incorrect. So let's, but like you guys were close, and I love 24.0. See, and I love tigers. That is a very classic mistakes that a lot of people make. And now let's break down the question. So first, 24 plus 24, 14.2 plus 10.3, that equals to 24.5. However, we use int on it. We make this 24.5 an int. And when a double gets turned into int in Java, it's always rounded down. So 24.5 gets rounded into 2024. So 14 times 2 plus 10 equals 24.5. And then it gets rounded down int of 24.5 equals 24. And then the reason that it's 24.0 is because there's also cost, the double cost, double of the int. So that turns into double of the int 24, and that turns into 24.0. So that's how rounding things goes. Okay. Now we can have, let me ask another question, 23.24 on double text. 20% tax, let's do it. I forgot a semicolon again. And then double total cost. You see total cost, the cost is the second word, the C, and cost is capitalized, equals, let's put a 0 first.
You're gonna get an error.
Did I forget a semicolon somewhere?
Actually, no.
Oh, thank God, okay. It's okay, no problem. I would really appreciate it if you guys call out any mistakes that I made, because I make mistakes all the time. Now, if we put total cost as cost times tax, pull out your calculators. What do you think this one will be? So, does anybody have any any thoughts as to what will be printed out? Oh, you want me to slow down? Let me go through the question again. So we have 3 doubles here. One is double cost, one is double tax, and one is double total tax. Now I have timed the cost and tax together in total tax. And let's see, okay, 27.888. Good guess. Let's see if that's correct. You are correct, William, and it seems that, wait, 1 second. Okay, so the reason that the computer does this is that it does this really funky thing where it sets instead of 1.2, it says it as 1.199999999 down all the way to infinity. I don't remember. There's a reason that it does this, but I don't know why it does this. But it just sees 1.2 as 1.20. Would that be the same? Because there's still 23.24. Now, if we try to put that, no change. Gabe, do you have an explanation as to why it does this?
I'm afraid I don't.
I remember.
I can try and find one though.
Yeah, I remember. I think Java sees each double as something that's close to it to the infinity. Yeah, Gabe is from Britain, You guys can make British people jokes in the chat, just tease him. Right. I think instead of 1.12, Java sees this as 1. And then till infinity, and instead of 23.240, it sees it as 23.23999. I think something like that. A number that is infinitely close to the value we have set it as, infinitely close, and that's why there's this weird 7999 thing. And also, I think double is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 digits. Yes, 15 digits, 15 decimal digits. Right. Now we have done quite a lot with double and int. Now let's do something with string. So string naming. Right, so if we set string name as temporarily as nothing, and if we set character cha as, let's just do R, and if we have right here, if we have, yes, like calculus, it goes to the limit, but it never actually reaches that point. Very interesting that William knows calculus. And then if we set, I think we can set a character as a string, but we can't set a string as a character because a string is much larger than a character. Think of it as big boxes and small boxes. So int is equal to a small box, and then double is equal to a big box. That's why when double gets changed into int, whatever's left behind gets chopped off. The decimals get chopped off. That's why it rounds down, because it gets chopped off. Likewise, string is a big box, and character is a small box. You can't put a big box in a small box because that's just how that's not how boxes work, but you can put a small box in a big box. So we can, I think this will work. Name equals character. If we name equals this character, if we do that and we run it, I think that will print out the character. Why is that? Oh wait, my bad. Another thing. Dave, can you please check this if this is right? Like, characters are single quotations, right?
Yeah, I think.
Gabe, please check my work.
I'm checking it, and I believe it looks good.
Okay, yeah.
The reason though, I think it might not be working because you're setting a character to be, you need to cast the char to a string. So you're calling the toString method of the character class. So to get a string from a char, you do character.toString, and then the character you want to turn into a string. So char.
Wait.
Yeah, it would be character, but with the capital C, because you're calling the wrapper class.
The class?
Yeah, I believe that'll work.
Really sorry about this, guys. Okay, there we finally go. Yeah, I haven't done character to string conversions quite often, so that's how you do it. And is it possible to convert string to character? I think it's not possible to convert string to character. I think it's only possible to convert character to string. If we set name as, I think this would also be the same. Let's just try running it just in case. Oh my god. Okay, yes, that works. Good. Now that we went over character and string and the messy conversions of character to string, let's talk about Boolean. So Boolean is just true or false. We can set it to true, or we can set it to false.
Teacher,
Yeah?
look in the chat.
Yes, that works as well. And string dot value of C. Oh, value of. Value of, isn't that how it usually converts int to string? Oh, there's int to string conversions. Do you guys want to see int to string conversions? We can do that as well. Or we can do. So if you guys want to do int to string conversions, you can put something in the chat. But right now, let's take a look at Boolean. So Boolean is just true or false. And if we say we print that out, that should print out true. And if we say that's to say true space false. So Boolean doesn't have like big uses as a like in earlier class, but it gets more useful as you go on later. My computer is really laggy today. Usually it's used when we are testing if this is true, then we do this. If this is false, then we do that. If will actually be the topic of our next class. So yeah, you see, you can do that, but you can only set Boolean as true or false. You can't set it as anything else. Now, yes, string value of can turn most data types to string. You want to see that? Let's do that. It's not in quotations, so that's, see, you can't really do that. But however, if we do,
I believe it would work if it was the double equals, like 1
right.
Double equals 12. That would.
Yeah, 1 double equals 12. Right, and we say relevance. That should print out false. Yes. And the thing in Java is it's not equals, it's double equals, just to not get it confused with single equals. So single equals is when you set the value of a variable. Double equals is when you actually want to like equal as in mathematical terms. Right? And we can string value of string dot value of. Okay. If we do string name equals string.value of cost. I actually have another challenging question for you guys. Okay, can anybody guess what this will be? What will print out if I run this? So that's how you add strings together, yes. It removed the 0 at the end because it's not relevant. They don't do sigfigs here in Java. Right, so that's how you add strings together. Likewise, you can add a double together. So like double total cost equals total cost. I don't need to declare it twice. Total cost plus cost plus tax. And if we do that, we print out total cost. And we print out total cost. Does anybody have any idea what that would be?
There's an error.
Yes. I need to stop forgetting to put semicolons. Yes, so that's how it goes. You can basically round to 24.4. 20.24.44. Yeah. And William said total cost plus equals cost. Yes. So how that works is plus equals means that let me just take a look at that. So total cost plus equals cost is equal to total cost. Boolean true or not? Does this work actually? Yeah, let me take a look at this. Let's hope this doesn't give me let's hope it doesn't give me an error. This gave me an error. Plus equals. Okay, yeah, you can't. I forgot. So this is something you can't do. You can't do additions. You can't do addition inside of a Boolean. So if we want to do that, we have to do it outside. William, can you mute yourself? So that total cost equals tax. This should give us false, yes. So we can compare these, but we can't actually add stuff and then compare these. So if I say add plus tax, there is a plus sign here. You can't do that because that's not something the Boolean can do because Boolean is only true or false. So any questions? Class is officially over, so anybody who wants to leave can leave. Anybody who has questions can stay and ask questions.
Okay. So I want to know All these variables, you have to declare what type of variable they are, right?
Yes, you have to declare. Yes, continue.
Well, do you know more if statements and while loops in Python? Python, I know. In Python, all variables start out local, but in Java, you not have to declare it local, and instead it starts out global.
Yes. I don't understand what your question is. Can you repeat that?
In Python, if you declare a variable, it starts out as a local variable.
Mm-hmm.
And in Java, is that true or false?
You're asking, yeah, I think it's also local. Java, I don't think Java has any global variables.
Yeah,
So
the
any
variables that we
variables that's
declare.
in the scope of the class gets defined in the program. Like it gets defined in the program. It gets so like this variable gets defined in this class, that like class main that we're doing, right? So it's local.
Oh, okay, thanks.
There are static things. Do you know static?
No.
Okay, never mind. So how do I say this? Well, if you're interested, you can look into static. Static are global variables, but other than that, everything else is local. Okay. We will talk about static when we get to our lesson like 13, 14, 15, because that relates to inheritance. And that's where we get to know like some of the more global variables. You can, if you're curious, we can talk about it a little bit more, but I don't know if we are ready to talk about static.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Any other questions? That's a very interesting question though, William. Okay, does anybody else have questions? Lily, no, if there are no more questions, we can say goodbye now. Bye. All right, I am going to leave the meeting now. Bye.